Hello everyone. I feel very magic today, and that means that it's time for story Little Miss Magic by Roger Hargreaves. Today I just need to read you that story because I wanted to, and I haven't read you for a long time. So it's time for another story, in English of course. But first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Maya. I'm a writer. I love children, I love fairy tales, and I love meditation. So I put all of those passions together and I create very special audio meditative fairy tales with FlowerFairy Flora. You can read more about these stories on the link below, and actually they are great for children and for adults as well, because you can all learn deep breathe, how to deep breathe on a very funny way, and you will learn very important things for life through the story, and you will meet FlowerFairy Flora. She's very generous, she's very nice, strong and gentle, and I'm sure that you will love to hang out with her. So that's a little bit about me and my work, and now it's time for one story. Little Miss Magic, because today is very magic evening and this magic I want to share with you. So just prepare your ears and listen. Early one Monday morning in summer, Little Miss Magic awoke in the bedroom of Abracadabra Cottage, which was where she lived. She yawned and yawned and got out of bed. She went to the bathroom to clean her teeth. Squeeze, she said to the tube of toothpaste. And guess what? The tube of toothpaste jumped up and squeezed itself onto Little Miss Magic toothbrush. Honestly, Little Miss Magic isn't called Little Miss Magic for nothing. When she tells something to do something, it does it. You can see that's the proof here. Okay. She went downstairs to kitchen. Boil, she said to the kettle, and it did. Toast, she said to the toaster. Spread, she said to a knife. And the knife jumped up and spread some butter onto the toast. Pour, she said to the coffee pot, and she sat down to breakfast. Don't you wish you could do things like that? I would. I'm sure that you would do. It would be fun. She was enjoying a second cup of coffee when there was a knock at the kitchen door. Open, she said to the door. And as it did, there stood Mr. Happy, looking exactly opposite. You don't look your usual self, remarked Little Miss Magic. What's the matter? Everything, replied Mr. Happy. Come in and tell me about it, she said. Have a cup of coffee. Pour, she said to the coffee pot. Now, said Little Miss Magic, what is it? It's Mr. Tickle, replied Mr. Happy. He's become absolutely impossible. What do you mean? Asked Little Miss Magic. Well, went on Mr. Happy, he used to go around tickling people every now and then, but now he's going around tickling people all the time. he signed. Little Miss Magic looked at him. It can't be that bad, she said. It's worse, said Mr. Happy unhappily. Cheer up, she grinned. Come on, she said. And off they set from Abracadabra Cottage. After you, said Little Miss Magic to Mr. Happy. Close, said to the door. Mr. Tickle was in full cry. What a Monday morning he was having. He'd tickle Mr. Mean until he'd moaned, and Mr. Greedy until he groaned, and Little Miss Sunshine until she'd shivered, and Mr. Quiet until he'd quivered, and Little Miss Plump until she'd pleaded, and Little Miss Shy until she'd sobbed. Not to mention the postman, a policeman, the doctor, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a worm. Aha! cried Mr. Tickle as he spied Little Miss Magic and Mr. Happy. Anyone for tickles? And he rushed up to them, reaching out those extraordinary long arms of his, with those particularly ticklish fingers on the end of them. Little Miss Magic looked at Mr. Happy. I see what you mean, she said, and winked. She pointed at Mr. Tickle's extraordinary long right arm. Shrink, she said, and then she pointed to Mr. Tickle's extraordinary long left arm. Shrink, she said again. And, as you remember, when Little Miss Magic tells something to do something, it does it. Mr. Tickle's arms were suddenly not extraordinary long. That's not fair, he cried. You've spoiled my fun. It might have been fun for you, remarked Mr. Happy, but it wasn't much fun for anybody else. Come and see me tomorrow, said Little Miss Magic to Mr. Tickle. There, she said to Mr. Happy. Happy now? Mr. Happy smiled that famous smile of his. I'll say, he said. Come on, he added. I'll buy you lunch. And off they went to his favorite restaurant, Smiler's. On Tuesday, Mr. Tickle went round to Abracadabra Cottage. He knocked at the front door. Open, said a voice inside. Oh, hello, smiled Little Miss Magic as the door opened by itself and she saw who was standing there. Come in. I expect you'd like me to make your arms long again, she said. Oh, yes, please, said Mr. Tickle. Very well, she said. Mr. Tickle's face lit up. On one condition, she added. His face fell. You are only allowed 1 tickle a day. 1 tickle a day, said Mr. Tickle. That's not much. Promise, said Little Miss Magic. Mr. Tickle signed. Promise, he said. Grow, said Little Miss Magic. And both Mr. Tickle's arms grew back to their original long length. Now, don't forget, she reminded him, 1 tickles a day. Or else, she added. Mr. Tickle went out through the door. Goodbye, she said to him. Shut, she said to the door. Mr. Tickle stood outside Little Miss Magic cottage. Oh, well, he thought, 1 tickle a day is better than no tickles a day. It was then that he saw one of the downstairs windows of Abracadabra Cottage was open. 1 tickle a day, he thought, and a small smile came to his face. "One tickle a day," he thought. And on that Tuesday morning, as one of those extraordinarily long arms reached in through the open window of Abracadabra Cottage, the small smile on the face of Mr. Tickle turned into a giant grin. "One tickle a day," he thought. Well, we heard that Mr. Tickle was very naughty, Mr. Happy was sad, and Little Miss Magic used her magic. Well, like I said at the beginning, the evening is magic if we are able to use our magic from our heart. So my suggestion for all of you would be use your imagination and use your magic, and this is your heart, your good words, and make this evening special for somebody. So go and hug them and kiss them. Go and hug your parents or your grandparents or uncles or aunties. Go and hug them and kiss them. So this is it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you can you can like this live. If you watch this on YouTube, you can subscribe, and you can follow this FlowerFairy Flora channel on Facebook or Instagram and so on. So I wish you a good night and see you soon. Bye bye. Mwah.